Hi guys, and Happy New Year. It is 2019 or 2019 if that's how you prefer to say it. 2018 went by amazingly fast, and definitely the end of the year, the holiday season got crazy around here, and all of my well-laid plans kind of got tossed out of the window or reworked to fit in the time that I had to do things. I'm sure you understand. So I do want to look back over what I read in 2018 and definitely share with you my favorites. But I decided first I would do a quick little share here on some of my reading for 2018. I had the best of intentions in 2018 to follow a reading challenge. And unfortunately, I'm very much a mood kind of reader, so that didn't really work out too well. I kind of felt boxed in. So I'm not really following a strict reading challenge or reading plan this year because my interest can vary depending on maybe what new books get released or a book that I hear a lot about, or just depending on what's going on here at home or in my life. Maybe I need a different, easier read or non-emotional read or something, just so not getting any strict plans this year. So I am doing a Back to the Classic challenge. It's 12 categories, that's 12 books. I surely hope that I will read more than 12 books this year, but these 12 will definitely be in that mix. I will spread them out over the year. Some are really short, some are really long. Some will likely be more difficult and more enjoyable than others. But I thought this would be a good way for me to get in some of those books that, I've always said I'm going to read that, but I don't make time for. So the blog that is hosting this challenge, I think it's called Books and Chocolate. Maybe. I will link it down below to make sure that I get that right for you so that you can go and check out just kind of how the challenge is set up. Perhaps it's something that you're interested in. You can see what other people have lined up to read. I will say these choices could change, but as of today, these are the choices that I've made for these 12 categories. I tried to pull from my own shelves as much as possible, or from my daughter's shelves when I needed to, and to just use the library when I had no other option. So, without further ado, I'm just going to run through these 12 categories super fast, and that'll be it. So the first up is the category is a book written in the 19th century, and so I'm going to be reading A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. My eldest daughter loves Dickens, and my other daughter, who is 15, really enjoyed A Tale of Two Cities. I have started it and stopped. So other than like abridged little snippets that were in like literature textbooks in high school and stuff like that, I haven't actually read a complete Dickens book. Yeah, sad, I know. So this is it. Gonna read that this year. Definitely gonna read that one. The second category for Back to the Classics was a 20th century book, and so I'm gonna read A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Now, I do own this. I got it from the library the other day. I have a copy, but I can't find it. So I went ahead and just checked out a copy. I probably will not read this one yet, but I did want to have it on hand just in case I change my mind here in January if I want to start with it or not. I've heard really good things about this, so I'm looking forward to reading it to see if I agree with the things that I've heard. So I will let you know how that goes. The third category was a classic by a woman author. So easy, that category. I actually picked Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This is my daughter's copy because I thought I had a copy, but I can't find it. So maybe I've got like 4 different copies of Emma, but apparently I don't own Sense and Sensibility. But this will be a read aloud that I will share with my children, because on Wednesdays I read aloud. They call it Wednesdays with Austin. Right now we're going through Pride and Prejudice. We are almost finished, so I'm thinking probably by, because we only read it once a week, it takes a little bit longer. So I probably February or March, I will start reading this one aloud, and hopefully we can get through it in a year. Some Wednesdays we read a good big chunk, and then some Wednesdays it's just a chapter. It just kind of all depends on what's going on that week and how well behaved my 2-year-old is being. So that was the woman author category. Then we had to do a classic in translation, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, and then I decided to do something by Jules Verne, and this is The Mysterious Island, which I really had never really looked at before, but when I read what it was about, I found it very intriguing. I also read a little when I was looking up translations, books that have been translated, and I was looking at Jules Verne. It had been mentioned that his wife did his translations for him. So I don't know if that's true or not. I need to look into that some more, but that's very interesting. I've read about 2.5, 3 chapters of this book, and I find it very interesting. So hopefully I will continue to enjoy it. So the 5th category was a classic comic novel. There was absolutely no question that I would be doing some Wodehouse. My oldest girls love him. This is actually my daughter's copy. So I'm going to read some of this. When my girls read it, they are always laughing. I do like British humor, so hopefully that'll be a nice, fun read. This will be returned to my daughter's shelf as soon as this video is over, because if it is to get damaged in any way, she will be very upset with me, and I'll just pull it when I'm ready to read it. So we'll see when that is. The 6th category is a classic tragic novel. So I am going with Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I actually own, my daughters got me a set of Jane Eyre, and this came in a nice little set together. I have not read this before, and I have been warned that it's horrible, and I will want to throw the book across the room, and so I'm very excited to be reading this tragic classic novel. I will say I have read a biography on the Bronte sisters before, so I'm totally prepared for the just totally dysfunctional story that this is going to be. So I'm prepared for that, and I'm okay. So the 7th category is a very long classic. So I, like a crazy person, couldn't just go, okay, War and Peace, sure. No, I had to go looking for something, and I stumbled across this book called Black Lamb and Gray Falcon by Rebecca West. It definitely qualifies for the very long category. It is over 1,000 pages, but I find that I really enjoy books that tell a history and kind of introduce me to just an aspect of the world or people that just isn't in my everyday common knowledge experience. You know what I mean? So this not only it's Yugoslavia, and so you're getting some history and just the culture and the geography. So I'm looking forward to attempting this one. If for some unknown reason it just does not appeal to me at all, I get in it and I feel bogged down, my backup for the very long classic is The Count of Monte Cristo, which two of my teens are currently reading for school, and you can kind of see where my daughter's at. My 15-year-old daughter is reading it, and she's about right there. So she's not even halfway done. I could catch up with her, don't you think? So it's over 1,000 pages. I think it's actually longer than the other one. So we'll see which one of those catches my interest. That I will start reading this month, because I will have to spread it out for sure. Someone's trying to get in my room. So I definitely have to spread that out. Shut the door, please. So the 8th category is a classic novella, and this was on my shelf. This easy just to grab this, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So I'll be reading that at some point this year. Then we have the 9th category, which was a classic from the Americas, North America, South America, and the Caribbean, I believe. So I picked The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. I own this. My son, who is 9, loves the audio of this book. If you ask him like what his favorite book is, it used to be this. I don't think it is anymore, but it used to be. So I'm going to read it. I probably read it when I was younger. Maybe. I have no recollection. Then the 10th category, no sir. The 10th category is a book from Africa, Asia, Oceania, whatever. So I have The Good Earth by Pearl Buck, which I meant to read last year. I had it for I don't know how long from the library, and I never got around to reading it. So so it's set in pre-revolutionary China, so should be interesting, right? Hi. So the 11th book is a book set in an area where you have lived, and no sir, no sir, David, my toddler has joined me. So the 11th category is for places where you've lived, and I've only ever lived in one state, one country, so that kind of limits me. So I did a little bit of research to find a classic novel that is set where I live, and so I found a book called The Fair Lady of Halifax. I cannot get it in print. I think I can get it as like a reprint on Amazon for, I can't remember how much, but I'm not willing to pay it until I know that I'm actually going to like this book. So I may have to make some adjustments to a different book, but I'm going to give it a try and see. So yeah, The Fair Lady of Halifax. So you can totally look that up if you're interested. I'm going to be reading it online. And then if I really like it, I'll buy the book. But I am prepared to have to substitute something for that one. We'll see. And then the 12th category is a classic play. Now I read Shakespeare with my children. We read it together. We assign parts. And we are currently reading Twelfth Night. So when we finish up that one, we are either going to do Much Ado About Nothing, or we are going to do The Winter's Tale by Shakespeare. So one of these will be my classic play. So I think it's really challenging to just read a play the way that you would read a book. Because it is in parts, it is designed to be seen and heard. So I know when my children when I've assigned plays for them as part of their literature studies, I've encouraged them to go to LibriVox and to listen to the play, or I get it from the library on CDs so they can listen to the different parts. So I find it really helpful for us to come together as a group and assign parts. And it has been a very enjoyable way to read Shakespeare, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, so Shakespeare is definitely my classic play. So those are my 12-ish picks for the Back to the Classics challenge. I will link that blog that's hosting the challenge down below. I also have a blog post sharing these books, so I will link that blog post down below as well. So if you have any interest in participating in this Back to the Classic challenge, I'd love to hear about which selections you make for the categories, or if you're doing a different reading challenge for this year. Definitely comment below and let me know. If you want to hear more or hear anything about what I read in 2018, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss when I'm able to get that video up. And I will catch you guys later. I have to stop this little guy before he tears my room apart. So you guys make it a great day. Bye.